Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly deep dive. This is episode number 6. We got lot to talk about this week. We got a bunch of NFL news. We got NBA, NCAA, Cats talk. We are loaded down this week. Going to try to go through it pretty quick. So I'll hand it off to Landon for some news here on the podcast about next week. So enjoy.
Yeah, so there won't be an actual podcast next week. Both James and I will be out of town. We'll be in completely different places, hours, time difference apart. So we will not be posting a podcast. There will be videos coming out that have already been filmed or will be filmed based off of conference tournaments, predictions on the NCAA tournament, before we talk about the Sweet 16 on the next podcast in a little over a week and a half. We'll start talking about that. Um, but yeah, just be expecting some random pop-up videos, probably like 4 or 5 next week.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
Should be. Let's jump into the news. To start, LeBron is out, and JJ Redick is not happy with the performance from the Lakers last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. Especially losing to the Nets. I mean, that's just especially for a team of that caliber with Doncic and all that. I mean, losing to LeBron made a lot more impact than you would think.
Yeah, like, well, they lose LeBron. They don't have Jackson Hayes, Dorian Finney-Smith's hurt, Rui Hachimura's hurt, so they're down 3 starters and their 6th man. So It it makes a difference, but I think LeBron being out makes the bigger difference because if you look at their plays, LeBron's usage percentage is the highest it's ever been. He's having the best season of his career, and the Lakers have been fueled by him this year. Like losing Anthony Davis and gaining Luca, even when Luca wasn't playing, fueled that fire. Since Luca's been on the roster, they're now 8-3. They were 8-2 on a 6-game win streak. Um, and I know it wasn't going to keep up. They weren't going to win out. Like it's not going to happen, especially in a stacked Western Conference. Um, but this loss definitely doesn't hurt them. It's an out of conference team, so it doesn't affect them that much. Um, and this is the dog days right now. This is the time when you rest your guys before you make that late season push the last 15 games of the year.
Definitely crunch time, so we'll have to see how that affects them. Then next we got Steph becoming Davidson's basketball GM. I loved hearing that. Love to see, like you were telling me about how Rondo is around UK campus sometimes. So it's good to see alma
Yeah,
maters
like
like that coming
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I love to see it. I think Rondo, and then I don't know if you remember Tyler Eulis from the 2015 and 2016 teams, but he joined our coaching staff after he left the NBA, and
Okay.
now he followed Cal to Arkansas,
Oh, of
so he
course.
coaches there. Well, I mean, if you were coached by like if say I got coached by Calipari, and I played with him for 2 years, and he helped me into the NBA, and he was my mentor, and he did all this stuff for me, spent millions of dollars for me, and allowed me in his home, had that kind of impact on my life to be able to, and he came to Kentucky for Calipari. He didn't come to Kentucky for Kentucky.
Mm,
I would probably follow Calipari if I was that kind of guy. Like I would
yeah,
follow my coach.
I agree. I agree for sure. Um,
But I think this
well,
is an exciting thing for Steph. Like
yeah, no, that'd be good. Definitely beneficial for some Davidson basketball. You know, they haven't been as good since he's gone, so maybe he can help them out. So,
but F1 kicks off this weekend.
yep, starting in Australia. Excited to see that. Everybody's excited for all the new teams. You got Lewis Hamilton on a new team. You got Mercedes you got a new driver at Mercedes, Red Bull. I mean, everybody's been moved around. So it'll be interesting to see if there'll be a dominant team this year or if we'll see um, a balanced field maybe for once, but you never know.
Do we think putting Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari gives him a better chance of winning, or do you think it's still Max Verstappen's to lose?
I don't know. The Red Bull's car this year doesn't seem to be as dominant. Um, uh, Norris and Piastri at McLaren, they definitely have the dominant car.
A
I think so.
dynamic duo, and I could see a lot coming out of McLaren this year.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go into that more on my first racing recap that'll come out sometime this week. So I'm gonna start pumping those out every week if I can, going over the F1 and NASCAR races. So look out for that.
Yeah, but Josh Allen signed a super max, 6 years, $330 million, 276 guaranteed, an extension on his previous 6 year that was signed in 2022, I believe. So now he is signed until 2031.
That's a wild, like, you don't see that kind of longevity very often. That's pretty awesome. Good for him.
Him and Mahomes are the only two to do it. Mahomes signed the 10-year contract for 500 million in 2019, and now Allen has signed the 6 year. So they are both locked until 2030.
Yeah,
They're pretty much going to be for lifers for their teams.
that's good. How I don't remember how long Burrows is. Is it a 6 year or 5 year? I can't remember.
Burrows was, I think, 324.
Yeah. So the Bengals don't like to give that much longevity. So, but that still is a
They've
decent
been
amount.
screwed over in the past by Jay Cutler and Andy Dalton. They learned not to give them the longevity contracts because it doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they tried to give what Jay Cutler. They tried to give him a 6, and then he got hurt in his second year, and then left the Bengals right after that. So it was
Yeah,
just like
it's a mess.
kicked in the knee. But what about Duke overthrowing Auburn?
I didn't
They're
expect to
number
see
one for the
that.
first time this year.
I mean, Cooper Flag being Cooper
Yeah, I
Flag.
mean, and I don't. It has nothing to do with how good Duke played because Duke almost lost to North Carolina. North Carolina had it tied with 8 minutes to go, and they're barely a winning team this year. But Auburn losing to Bama, it's not a surprise. It's not an upset because it's number one, number seven. Auburn only beat them by 5 last time they played, and it was at Alabama. Alabama winning is not that big of a deal. But people are making a huge deal about how Duke finally gets the recognition for beating Auburn. That was 10 weeks ago.
Yeah,
That was over 2 months ago now. We don't care that Duke beat Auburn. Auburn has beat a lot of top tier teams. Duke has not beat a lot of top tier teams. They're just good because they have a huge, insane record. Auburn and Duke's records are the exact same. Duke just has that win over Auburn. That's the only reason that they're up there. I think if they play again, it'll be good. It'll be great. And I don't know who would win, but then we'll see who the best team is. And maybe we'll see it. Maybe it'll happen because they're probably going to be the number one seeds in the tournament. So we could see them in the championship. And I hope we do.
yeah, it'll be an interesting, a lot of competition up there at the top for number one. So there's several teams this year that could be number one. Honestly,
Yeah, like you got the top. I think that the top 8 teams in college basketball right now have a after these conference tournaments, the top 8 teams have a very good chance of taking that number one overall seed. I could see Clemson or Louisville upsetting Duke in the ACC tournament. I could see Auburn getting upset by just about anybody in the SEC, and I could potentially see Michigan State or St. John's taking the number one.
yeah, I agree with you. St. John's definitely my sleeper pick for sure. Um, it'd be interesting to see how far they go. So you want to lead into NBA stuff now?
Yeah, but I think we transitioned into yeah, NBA time. We got Jokic takes down Shea for the first time this season. The Thunder had won the first 2 matchups by double digits. Jokic takes the close game this time. He had a great game, and I do think that it's partially because Chet Holmgren is still out for the Thunder. I don't know if they get him back for playoffs or not. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the Western. I have the this year, but Jokic dominated last night.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Didn't expect that honestly. I mean, with how good Shea's been this year.
And it's nothing against Shea. Shea had 34, 8, and 5. Like he had a great game, shot really efficiently. But Jokic turned into Jokic, and he had Isaiah Hartenstein guarding him. I mean, it's not that major. And Jokic actually is still in second for MVP race behind Shea after that. strictly because of the record, the Nuggets have fallen from the 2 to the 5, and, uh, I personally think that Jokic should be in the lead right now because I don't know if you heard about his game. He is the first player to ever have a 30, 20, and 20 game. He did that on
Oh wow.
Saturday night.
No, I did not hear about
Yeah,
that.
he had 31 points, 21 rebounds, 22 assists
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
against the Suns. Yeah, it was crazy. But we already talked about the LeBron injury. We don't like talking about LeBron here, unless we absolutely have to, and we already did, so we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
but the Heat, since losing Jimmy Butler, have lost for the third time. Not since losing Jimmy Butler. It is March 11th, and since March 1st, they have lost 3 games after being up plus 10 or more in the second half. And all those teams had a worse record than the Heat before that game.
Rough start to March for sure. It's definitely.
Yeah, and this past one was to the Hornets, the worst team in the league without LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, I mean, they had some momentum when getting Jimmy Butler, and it just seems like it is not. They kind of peaked and started to come down.
Yeah, I mean, who do they have? I forget who they got in return after Jimmy Butler. I don't think it matters. I really don't. I think they missed the playoffs this year, so I don't really think it matters. Um, but the Warriors have won 5 straight. They haven't won 5 straight since 2022, so props to them. And Steph is 2 3-pointers off of hitting 4,000 threes.
Dang. Yeah, I
And
mean,
I think we talk about LeBron's scoring record, Stockton's assist record. I think this is the most unbreakable record. If he hits 4,000, no one's ever touching it.
yeah, I wonder who's in second. How
Do
close
you
is
realize
second?
that's averaging 4.5 threes per game?
That's just
I
that's
think
insanity.
Reggie Miller is still in second, but James Harden will probably get there if he plays 3 to 4 more years. James Harden will probably break that. Um, and then depending on how long Dame plays, he could get up there into second or third or fourth or something like that. But they're both James Harden and Damian Lillard are like top 10.
Yeah,
I'm trying
Dame
to think
just
of
has a
young
lot of
guys that could
injuries.
get there. Yeah, like if Duncan Robinson got more playing time, I could see him up there. He's like top 15 and he hasn't played that long. But young guys, I could see Buddy Hield, not young guys. He's been in the league like 8 years, but Buddy Hield's getting up there in 3-point shooting, but he also plays with Steph, so and he's having a down year. And I can't think of any like super young guys that could get there or will get there, because most of the best shooters are currently in the G League, like Reed Shepard. Well, thing about Reed Shepard, he had 25 in his first ever start. He started for the Rockets a couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks ago, last week. He had 25 in his first game.
Who'd they play?
Um, I don't know. They lost, but he
Oh,
had 25.
yeah. The Rockets don't have much besides him, honestly.
What are you talking about? They're the fourth best team in the West.
I
Their
don't
team
know.
is stacked. Best defensive team in the league. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, or no, they have not a star. Uh, Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr. Those guys, they work together. They have the defense. They had 2 All-Stars this year. But they rested some guys, had some injuries, and he got the start, and he shined, and he got pulled up permanently off the G League team for.
That's good. Hopefully he can start starting. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a big boost to the Rockets.
I hope they give him some minutes because since then he's only played like 8 or 9 minutes because they have their guys back. I'm hoping that performance and some good practice time will give him some more minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it should for sure. So you ready
Do
for
you
some
want to
NCAA?
transition us into the NCAA? Yeah.
Yeah. Drake first. Drake first team to punch ticket? Why'd you say Drake?
Because Drake University was the first team to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
You're kidding. I did not know that.
They were the first team to win a conference championship this year, along with High Point, Troy, SIU, Evansville, or no, Edwardsville, sorry, Lipscomb, and Wofford. First six teams to lock the NCAA tournament.
For some reason, I thought you meant to say Duke, and I'm like, Duke, the ACC tournament's not even. I was I was
No,
confused.
with three more conference finals today, along with some tomorrow. We'll see teams lock up their bidding every single day from now till Sunday. There's two. The big conference tournament championships are on Saturday with the ACC and the Big 12, and then Sunday the Big 10 and the SEC. And I think the Big East ends on Friday or Saturday. I'm not really sure when they do that. Um, but yeah, they're it's getting to that time where we get real excited for the next month, and then we get real sad for the next five because we don't have college basketball.
Yeah, but we were pretty concise on our conference tournament picks here. We got ACC Duke taking the ACC, Auburn in the SEC,
Yeah,
Purdue in the Big Ten, Houston in the Big 12, and St. John's in the Big East. And I agree with that like full heartedly. I think those are very solid picks.
yeah. I mean, the only one that I like there's two. Actually, okay. I think St. John's is a lock for the Big East. Like we've seen them go down, but they're on an 18 game win streak. They beat everybody in the Big East on this run, and I don't see them slowing down.
Yeah,
Um, Same thing with Duke. I don't think they'll lose. You could see an upset from Clemson or Louisville potentially, but I don't think it happens. SEC, Auburn, they're the like least confidence that I have in a pick. I know they're amazing, but they're not unbeatable. And this SEC is and I say this every year, the SEC is loaded, and they get more and more competitive every single year. I don't think you can count out a single team from the SEC until they lose. Like I could potentially see, and it's not going to happen, but I would not be surprised if Arkansas made a long run in the SEC tournament. It could happen.
yeah, that's just how stacked this SEC is, honestly. Um, One thing before we move on is I was kind of because I don't know much about Drake, High Point, Troy, SIU, Lipscomb, and Woodford, or yeah, Woodford. So what do you know about those teams? Because I know you know a lot more about than I do.
So my friend John, actually, I was talking to him a little bit before this. He went to this is the University of Louisville. This is their spring break right now, and he goes to U of L. So he went to the Missouri Valley Championship in St. Louis, which consists of like Drake, Bradley, VCU, like teams in the Missouri Valley area, small universities that you don't see a lot. And he went to that conference tournament. Every single game he was there, and that has been a dream of ours. We always want to go, and if our spring breaks aligned, like maybe we'll go sometime. But he went, and he said it was a great time. But Drake ended up winning that, and they were the first team to get in. High Point, Kenny Payne used to coach there, and it was a big moment a couple years ago when Perry got to coach each other before he went to U of L. Uh, but High Point, seeing them come in, they're probably going to be one of those 15 seeds. Drake will probably be a 12 to 14. Troy will be an 11. Troy is always an 11. It's an ACC school. It's year in and year out at all. SIU Edwardsville, first tournament appearance ever. They're going to be a 16 play in. They're not going to make it past the play in. They're going to lose first round, not even first round. They're going to lose the play in game. Um, Lipscomb, they're usually that like sneaky 9 to 13. I'll see them at a 13 this year. That's where I'm predicting them. Wofford, interesting. They were a 16 the year our first year with Oscar Sheboy. The year we lost to St. Petersburg, we beat Wofford the first game, and then we lost to St. Petersburg in the Mustache the second game.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate
But something I
the
did want to talk about before we move on to the Cats talk.
yeah. Go ahead.
Purdue. They're my upset alert to the Big Ten because they're the sixth seed in the Big Ten tournament. When you got Michigan State, Michigan, Maryland, You got all these teams, UCLA, Oregon, Indiana up above them. Purdue's the 6th seed, but they have probably probably in my opinion the best point guard in the country with Braden Smith. And I think that it's tournament time. They're loaded with seniors. I think they're gonna prove somebody wrong, and I think they're gonna win Big Ten. I just wanted to get that out there in case I got any Michigan State bandwagons in here.
Okay, I got you. I like that. I like your analysis of those teams that I hadn't heard of very much, so appreciate that. And that'll transition us into our Cats talk. We have some happy Cats talk this week. Beating
Yeah,
Mizzou.
buddy.
We'd love to see it.
I'm wearing the Kentucky sunglasses for a reason.
Yeah, you're a goofball with those sunglasses on. I love how we can. It's funny
Hey,
seeing me in your sunglasses over to the right. It's funny.
yeah, well, I'm not seeing that because I can't see your face because you got the Streamlabs thing going on. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, beating Mizzou at Mizzou. I mean, I honestly didn't have high hopes for that game. Mizzou's been on a roll, and we went into Missouri and just rocked them. Honestly,
13 lead changes and 16 ties. Crazy close game for a while.
yeah. Then we ended up pulling away
But it was a
about
great game,
halfway
and,
through it.
like, you texted me after that first 5 minute yeah, you texted me after that first 5 minutes of the first half. You said, "Craziest thing you've ever seen." It was insane, it was electric, that stadium was going crazy. It was a great atmosphere from what I saw. I was listening to it at work, I wasn't watching it. Looked fun.
Yeah, I can't I don't know. That's the best I've seen us play. Like the LSU and Mizzou game, like these last two games, it's the best I've seen us play all year. So I love seeing that coming into the tournaments.
Yeah, what's your prediction for our SEC tournament? We're at the 6th seed. You've seen the bracket. What are you thinking?
Um, I'm hoping we can make it to the finals, at least semifinals.
I don't see it happening, buddy.
At least like if we make it to the semifinals, I'll be like beyond joyous. I mean, I'll be jumping for joy. I just don't want a first round
Well, let's
exit.
see. We're playing the winner of Georgia Oklahoma, and Georgia beat us early on before we found ourselves, and they had a little fun since then. We beat Oklahoma by 1 at Oklahoma. This is going to be more of a home game for us. And think about this: there are more Kentucky fans at the SEC tournament every year than any other school. We always have fans at the SEC tournament because we're the third
Yep.
closest team to Nashville.
Oh yeah.
I think we beat them. I think we end up in the Elite Eight with Alabama. And it's impossible. Not impossible. It is the hardest thing to do in college basketball outside of going undefeated is winning 3 games against the same team in one season. Alabama's beat us twice. I don't think they beat us a third time. And I think we see us going to the semifinals against Florida or Missouri. I think Missouri takes Florida on in the quarterfinals, and I think Missouri upsets Florida and meets us in the semis.
Yeah, I
And I
like that.
think since we beat Missouri, we can beat them again. We can go to the championship against the winner of my prediction is A&M beats Vandy, then upsets Tennessee, and then they play Auburn in the semis. I think Auburn wins, and we get retribution against. And once again, it's hard to beat a team twice, much less 3 times. We play Auburn for the second time. We lose. We go to the NCAA tournament. We play them in the Final Four, and we beat them because you can't beat a team 3 times. And we go to the championship because we beat Auburn. That's my
Oh my
prediction right
gosh.
now.
This guy is crazy.
If we get put on the same side as Auburn. If we get put on the
Yeah.
same side as Auburn. You all are gonna see in my NCAA tournament video how crazy I get at tournament time. You'll see a different this is a different side of me that you're about to see in the next week, a side that James has never seen, a side that anybody that watches this podcast has never seen because this is the most exciting time of the year for me.
Yeah, you
Well,
can
one,
see it
my birthday
already.
is always during the SEC tournament. You can see me getting very excited. I'm about to have a birthday, but March Madness is more important than Christmas to me. This is my Christmas. This is my holiday. This is like when I
It's
get
everything.
married, March Madness will trump that. I guarantee that.
Jeez. Hope your future wife
This
doesn't
is the
see this.
best time of the year. I hope she sees it, and I hope she's okay with it. I don't care if she's not okay with it. March Madness is the greatest thing of all time. You can never beat it. The Super Bowl, get out of here. World Cup, get out of here. NBA Finals, Game 7, get out of here. The NCAA tournament is where it's at. I don't care if it's Drake versus SIU Edwardsville in the championship. I'm putting on a shirt that says Drake on it, and I'm cheering for him in the NCAA tournament.
I like your enthusiasm. I don't see like, I'd love to see us make the finals, semifinals, like, but I have a low bar, honestly. I just don't want a first round exit in either tournament. Just at least get us to the second round. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean, after watching like the last month of Kentucky basketball, it's easy to say we get early exited. It's easy to say we go to Bama and we lose. It's also very easy after watching the last two games where we have one dominated LSU and two played our probably the best game that we've played all season after Gonzaga against Missouri at Missouri in a hostile crowd that hates us to come out on top by 11. It's just gives us the best momentum. We're working together. We're playing through the injuries that we thought were going to detriment us. We look great, and it's so hard for me to bet against us right now.
I completely agree. Yeah, it's hard to bet against us. I love how Pope has like brought the momentum to this team, and I think we can really thrive in a tournament setting if we play right. If we don't have any more
Yeah,
injuries, I think we're in line for some success for sure.
I think so.
Well, it's NFL time, baby.
Yes, sir.
We had a wild start to free agency here the past couple days. Um,
Free agency started yesterday, and it got real.
yes, it did. I mean, we had so
Uh,
many. First of all,
Quarterback
QBs
roulette,
moving around. Yeah, we got Pickett,
as we call it,
Fields,
quarterback roulette.
Darnold, Smith, and Jones. I mean, they're all just flying around.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett traded to the Browns. Justin Fields signs with the Jets. Darnold signs with the Seahawks. Smith traded to the Raiders. Daniel Jones. What? I did not see Daniel Jones getting signed by anybody, much less the Colts, who I thought had faith in Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I don't understand the Colts picking up Jones, but I know Gino to the Raiders. Our Raiders expert extremely enthused with the Geno Smith pickup, and I think it's a great pickup for the Raiders. Definitely a much better QB than they've had in a while. So we'll see what Gino can do there. See what he can cook up at the Raiders.
Yeah, top four quarterback in passing yards since 2022 when he took over the Seahawks, only trailing to Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Tua Tagovailoa. The only three quarterbacks Geno trails to in passing yards in the last three seasons. So, and he's playing under a coach that he played in his first starting season when he finished fourth in MVP voting as a 34-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of potential there with the Raiders for sure. I love Pete. I've always loved Pete Carroll when he was at the Seahawks. I just love the way he coaches
Hated
for
him.
sure.
Hated him.
You don't like
Hated
him?
him.
Why? What's your reasoning? Why don't you like him?
Well, I like him now. I like him now that he's not on the Seahawks. When he's on the Seahawks, I'm a Rams fan. That's our hate. That's a big team that we don't like. And I grew up watching the Packers. My dad's a Packers fan. They didn't like the Seahawks either. Pete Carroll used to be a dirty coach back in the day. Now, I think putting him in the Raiders setting, especially they got Geno, they've got who I think will be the greatest. He's only played one season. He will be the greatest tight end of all time when he's done. Brock Bowers will be very, very good. If they get some receivers, I think that team not like a playoff team, but a sneaky potential wild card spot this year.
I like that. I like those predictions. Yeah, and I think they draft a young quarterback later. Definitely have some potential there. I don't think the Pickett. I don't know. I don't the Pickett trade. I don't see anything coming out
I
of that.
don't think it's gonna do a lot for them, especially because they still have to spend money on Deshaun and they've got Kenny Pickett. I don't know what their route is here. Are they taking a quarterback at 3? Are they taking Travis Hunter at 3? Are they taking a defender at 3? I don't know.
Yeah, it
The
seems like
Browns
they don't
are
know.
kind of confusing me right now
Yeah, they don't know what they
because
want to do.
they haven't made a decision at running back. We still don't know if it's going to be Jerome Ford or Nick Chubb. No decision at quarterback. They just spent an insane amount of money on Miles Garrett. Like, there's so many things that are up in the air for the Cleveland Browns right now, and they're the one team in the league I have no. I can't tell you. I don't know. Oh, prediction: number one pick next year. That's my prediction.
Oh, for the Browns?
Yeah, every team except the Cowboys, which I don't think they'll ever be last in the league. Every team in the league has upgraded at least one position. The Browns have not done that yet.
Yeah, I guess. Well, who did the
They
Bengals
re-signed Miles
upgrade?
Garrett. That's not upgrading your position. Um, oh, they got a good running back too. Samaje Perine is better than Zach Moss.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Not the best upgrade,
Look,
but
you give me any
something.
team, I will find one way to tell you that they did better than the Browns in the free agency so far.
Yeah, I agree. I'm intrigued with Justin Fields going to the Jets, right? Did I get that right?
I think that is going to be great. He's got a quarterback. He's got a wide receiver that he played with in college. He's got Garrett Wilson. They played together at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be great.
I
Um,
know Jets fans will be excited to see
they
some
don't have
success,
Devontae
maybe.
Adams. Alan Lazard potentially request. Yeah, Alan Lazard potentially getting traded. Um, they did just lose their second best cornerback because DJ Reed is now on the Lions, which we'll get into that in a second. But I think Fields is going to be a great fit, especially with having an offensive line like they do, even though they just traded away one of their better offensive linemen. Um, I think it's a very good fit for the Jets, and I think it's a very good fit for that coaching staff. Still think they need to hire Rex Ryan as their head coach.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves. I miss Rex Ryan, man. He's a fun coach to watch.
He's a fun analyst to listen to too.
Yeah, I agree. I like his analyzation. I don't know. I don't know if that's a word.
Everyone knows how I'm going to feel about this next one. How do you feel? What do you think about Devontae Adams of the Rams?
I mean, how good is he anymore? I mean, he's getting up there in age. How many years
Yeah,
has he
but
got
you also got
left?
to think about who's been throwing in the ball.
That's
Washed
true.
Aaron Rodgers last year. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Derek Carr, and Jimmy Garoppolo are the guys that have thrown him the football 8 years.
Yeah.
Now he's got a top 7 quarterback in the league throwing in the ball this year. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited. I think he's going to accept the fact that he is wide receiver too. I don't think he's going to be upset with that. I think he's going to be okay with Puka Nakua being the. And I am okay with replacing Cooper Cup with Devonte Adams for right now. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I don't. I'm not upset about it.
I like that
Cooper
because
Cup hasn't produced. We're paying him too much money, and I think Devonte will be a great fit for us. Although I don't know who's going to take number 17. Puka better stay in number 17. Devonte better pick something else.
yeah, you don't want that to be a big fight. But what do you think about Garoppolo re-signing with the Rams? I know you love that.
You know, you all have seen me rant about Jimmy Garoppolo. You've heard me say that he is my least favorite player in the NFL. And he is, and he always will be. He will never do anything to change my mind unless we make the Super Bowl, Stafford gets hurt, and he wins it. That's the only thing that could ever change my mind about that man.
That'd be
He
wild.
sucks. He's just attractive. How can you how can you take performance enhancing drugs and still play that bad? Like, you're a second to third string quarterback. You take PEDs and get suspended for half a season when you're never even going to touch the field because Matthew Stafford is your starting quarterback. What's
Yeah.
the point?
He just did it for looks. He's got to keep the looks up, you know.
He's got to still he's got to keep his wife. That's all.
I wonder if he does he should like do modeling of some sort. Like
I I don't know, man. If I open a magazine and I'm burning it.
funny.
He's a curse to the Rams. That's all we
Yeah.
got beat this year.
definitely. I agree with that. Wasting that money on him to be a backup. What do you think about some
Yeah, we
other?
lost to the Eagles. DJ Reed to the Lions, as I mentioned a minute, very good fit, very very good fit, especially with CJ Gardner Johnson, who was their other cornerback, getting traded to the Texans today. They get DJ Reed to replace him. I think it's very good. We got Josh Sweat, who had 2.5 sacks on Mahomes in the Super Bowl for the Eagles, now on the Cardinals. And as I said, CJ Gardner Johnson at the Texans.
Yeah, some interesting trades. I mean, I don't know how much of an impact they will cause. I don't see any like those aren't really anything groundbreaking. I don't think, but maybe can mix things
No,
up.
because the Cardinals need a lot more than just the defensive end.
Yeah, that's a good
But
start
the
for these
Texans are
teams.
doing what I said they needed to do on the last podcast. Last podcast, I said the Texans needed to beef up their secondary, and they got the biggest trash talker in the league. So they did something.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And nothing against CJ Gardner Johnson. I just don't like him. He's very good cornerback.
somebody's listening to us. There's somebody from the Texans or is listening to us. You know,
Oh, really?
apparently.
Well, let us know how you feel. Let us know how you feel.
You want to talk about the Patriots loading up?
Dude, I have never seen a team get so many free agent signings in one day. They signed 7 guys yesterday, 5 on defense.
Yeah, I
Good
agree.
job.
You love to see a team getting
You
stuff
did
done.
something.
Yeah,
I can finally say the Patriots, they're not back. They're not that they're they're the second best team in the NFC or the AFC East. They will be better than the Dolphins and better than the Jets this year. I can confirm that they will be the number 2 team in the NFC or AFC
that's
East to open
that's
the
not
year.
saying a lot, but yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's saying a lot when the Jets are improving a lot, and Tyreek Hill apparently confirmed that the Dolphins will have the best year since he got signed by the Dolphins.
Ah, yeah, Tyreek Hill's always
Hate
right.
that guy. You know what? Jimmy Garoppolo, you're not my least favorite guy. Tyreek Hill, I hate that guy. Least favorite
Yeah,
player in the league.
you got Tyreek Hill, and then you got Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit higher.
Yeah. But as I kind of talked about Rodgers earlier, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, 2 oldest free agents, actually 2 oldest quarterbacks, I think, in the league outside. Um, Still free agents. No one's even really like showed interest right now, other than teams that have already signed guys. We've only got 1 month till the draft. Teams are
Crazy.
either going to start making moves for draft capital for a quarterback, or they're going to have to spend a lot of money on one of these two. I think I'd rather go for the draft.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a time. There was a time about 2 months ago. Steelers were on a 4-game win streak. Russell Wilson had them sitting at 7-3 or something. And I was like, you know what? He's a free agent this season. Stafford retires. Let's sign Russell Wilson. Yeah, no. I watched the last 3 games of the season when they lost, and I watched the playoff run they tried to make, and I regret everything I said about Russell Wilson.
I was just providing the audience with a visual aid to the Wilson's draft stock slowly plummeting and then exploding.
Yep, that'll do it. And Aaron Rodgers right there with him.
Yep, I agree.
No, Aaron Rodgers is already at the bottom. Russell Wilson's explosion landed on top of Aaron Rodgers and just made it even worse.
Yeah, Wilson
Like
was the
this is
bomb that
just
landed on Aaron
this is
Rodgers.
sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
But a lot of action,
But
first day. I mean, and even
yeah.
more today. You love to see it.
Let's see if anything's happened since we started because I haven't really been paying attention. Let's see what's
Yeah.
going on.
We're gonna do some
I
breaking
don't think
news.
so because like this time of the day is no breaking news as of let's see.
I saw Jamar Chase posted, "Know your
Oh, the
worth, then
49ers
add
released
tags."
Leonard Floyd. Yeah, so we're either getting close to Jamar Chase fleecing the Bengals or the Bengals fleecing Jamar Chase. That could go either way. Jamar posting that could say either he's getting screwed or the Bengals are putting too much money out. I don't know. Or he's just trying to get him to do something to make a decision. I don't know. That could go a lot of ways. I was talking to my brother about that earlier. It
Yeah,
could go any
that's a
direction.
very
I
awkward
still don't think we're.
situation, I feel like.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So you wanna move on to our blind rankings?
But yeah, you're gonna blind rank these. I'm gonna give you 5 off-season transactions that have happened up to this point. Maybe we talked about them. Maybe we haven't. You don't know yet. Um, one being the best, 5 being the worst. Obviously, we're gonna start out with Sam Darnold to the Seahawks.
Okay, give me the full if
Sam
these are
Darnold signs with the Seahawks, 3 years, 3-year contract. I think he's guaranteed $67 million.
I think that's a downgrade from Geno, definitely. So I'm gonna put that at 4.
Put that at 4. All right. Daniel Jones to the Colts. 1 year, $14 million, guaranteed 17 and a half.
5, that's a waste of money.
Waste of money. Waste of money. So you left 1, 2, and 3 open.
I put myself in a bad spot already.
What about Devontae Adams to the Rams?
I'll put what was this contract?
2 years, $20 million, guaranteed 18.7.
I'll
A
put
lot
that at
cheaper than what
2.
we're paying Cup.
Yeah, I'll put that at 2
Okay.
because that's a good deal for the Rams for sure.
Okay. Next, do Najee Harris to the Chargers.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, definitely number 3. I mean, Najee Harris isn't gonna. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, but not seen much out of him. So I think that's a good solid running back 2 option. But we'll see what they do. They don't have much besides him now, so he'll probably be their
You think
running
he's
back
going to be
1.
the 2 to J.K. Dobbins? You think?
No, no. I
Yeah, I don't
just
know.
yeah,
I think him and J.K. Dobbins, it's they're the same style running back. So I think it's gonna. I think the plan is to do what Detroit's doing, but with them both being the same style running back, I don't think it's gonna work like they want it to.
yeah. We'll have to see how much they can like. I don't know. Maybe change Najee's style or somebody's style. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do, though.
Where where are you putting that? 1 or 3?
I said 3.
3. I think you did the right thing. I think you did the right thing, and I think you put a perfect list together today
Okay.
because the DK Metcalf trade to the Steelers is the one.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's a pretty good trade. I mean, they paid a lot for him, but I feel like he's still in his prime.
I mean, they gave up a second round pick, but then they extended him immediately after, gave him $155 million, 140 guaranteed. So, um, I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have waited a year to extend him when his contract was actually up. But if they had waited a year to extend him, they could have had somebody come in and outbid him. So it is smart to extend him now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like waiting
But
for
yeah,
contracts because
I,
they
I
just
think
get
I
more
think it's a
expensive.
great move for the Steelers. Yeah, I think it's a great move for the Steelers. They have a wide receiver too now. He is going. I know DK is great. I think George Pickens is better, especially with where they line on the field. I think having that physicality on the left with DK on the right, I think you'll be good. But there are talks of George Pickens being traded,
This guy just say Pickens is
and I was
better
talking
than
to
DK.
some guys the other day. Yes.
I you're crazy. Pickens is not
Have
that
you
good.
have you seen George? All right, Bengals fan, have you seen George Pickens highlights?
Yes, we play him twice a year. He just
Do you
makes a cool catch
do
every
you
now
know
and
what
then.
this man is? Do you know what this man's capable of? Yeah, with nobody at quarterback.
Right. Okay. I mean, I don't know. We
But
can get into that
there's
another
talks
time.
of Pickens being traded, and I was yeah, yeah. There's talks of Pickens being traded. So we'll see what happens with the Steelers. There's a lot of question marks in the league right now between quarterbacks, wide receivers, coaches. A lot of question marks. A lot will happen in this next month before the draft on April 12th. Exactly a month from tomorrow. A lot will happen.
Yeah, I agree. This will be, we
But I
got a
think
lot of
that's a
fun
good
NFL
spot
stuff
to
coming up.
close us out.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys for watching and dealing with. We had a little bit of a delay issue today with our audio, so sorry about that. But we were trying to work through it, and
We'll try and we'll try and work through that. We'll see you in the videos next week. I will be live from the beach at one point. I can guarantee you that.
that sounds like fun. Yeah, we'll see you guys then, and I'll be having a racing recap come out, and maybe start doing some shorter videos. So hopefully you guys like this shorter episode, and we'll talk to you later. See you guys.